Yeah, I just wanted to firstly just give you a bit of an update on the work that we're doing in South Africa. So we've got a little PowerPoint just that can come up on the screen. As some of you might know, for the last 20 years we've been on mission in Cape Town, predominantly working in prisons and with youth at risk. But in January we started a new role as a family, new appointment at the Life Centre. So yeah, I'm just going to share a few little updates about the Life Centre, what it's all about, and just the mission that we're on in Cape Town. This scripture comes to mind that they may have life and life in its fullest measure. That's what Jesus has come to do, give life and in full measure. And that's really why it's been called the Life Centre. And the backstory of the Life Centre is this was a vision of a small church, Anglican church in Cape Town 20 years ago. And the founding pastor, it was a church plant from a bigger church in Cape Town. And literally it's taken 20 years for this vision to come about through prayer and just finances and just the way that it's just come about. So it's a vision that's been for a long, long time coming. And the Life Centre opened up in January. And myself and Kirsty were approached because we were looking at our new sort of mission appointment. And we were approached to come into the Life Centre, me to run the whole Life Centre, and to get it operational and look at how we can use it for mission, and then Kirsty with her counselling. Okay, so next slide, you can go there. This is the vision. So it's really a place to be a resourcing harbour, a place where people can come and find healing and hope, a linking hub to connect people with a similar heart and passion, and a holy place where all can encounter the living God. So it's a church centre, well, it's a community centre, but the church is there, but it's something that is busy throughout the week. So the whole vision is for this centre to be a thriving hub of mission throughout the whole week, because traditionally church is on a Sunday, but we really wanted a centre that was going to be busy, a hub for the activity, for the community throughout the whole week. So that's really the vision, this little picture of the Life Centre in the background. Next slide. So one of the visions of the Life Centre is to reach all spheres of life. So there's 7 spheres, and I think they got this off YWAM, but it's the spiritual side, it's family, it's business, it's education, health and wellness, community, and the creative arts. So really a centre that impacts all spheres of life and is really making an impact in the surrounding community and Cape Town. Next slide. And so what is happening? So we had this building and it was empty. Now we needed to see life come in this building. So that was very much part of my role. So we have something called Top Tots, which is a mums and tots group. So we have all these mums coming into the centre with their babies, making a lot of noise and crying and whatnot. And yeah, but it's really great to have them in the centre, and just a great way to speak and minister to a lot of the mums that come in. Many of them are unchurched, not been in a church before. So they come into the centre. Then we have community activities. So we have an auditorium like this, if you like. But then in the week, all the chairs are put aside. We have gymnastics, we have ballet, we have prayer events, and it's just busy throughout the whole week. So on a Sunday, we have church, but then in the week, we have a lot of community activities and outreach activities in the centre as well. And then we have events. So we host a lot of events for the community. We've had big worship events. We've had, this was a sports chaplaincy breakfast where we had one of the ex-professional South African cricketers who's become a Christian give his testimony, which was a really amazing time. And we had a wedding there. We had a book launch this past weekend, which was at 150 people coming in for a book launch. So yeah, so that's something that we also see as an outreach opportunity to get people in and run events. And then we have our mission partners. So we've got about 6 mission partners. So not only is the Life Centre a place where people come in and it's busy throughout the week, but also it's a hub to send out mission. So we have a homeless ministry, we support prison ministry, we have an after-school tuition program with kids in the townships. So a lot of these mission partners work in the Life Centre, and then we send them out to do work in the surrounding communities. The Life Centre is very much in the South African context, it's sat right on a crossroads. So in front of it, there's quite an affluent area, but then it's flanked by 2 very poor areas. So it's right in the centre of sort of a mixed, multicultural, social economic area, which is really a great position for us to reach not only the poor and the marginalised, but also some of the more affluent communities as well. So just a couple of stories. We go to the next slide. So this is one thing that we're just launching in the Life Centre. It's called The Table. And this is our community cafe. So I don't know if anybody's a coffee snob here, but I've become a coffee snob, mainly because of Gang Star and setting up the coffee shops. So we have we're starting a community cafe called The Table. And the beautiful part of this vision was when they were building the Life Centre, one of the ladies in the church said, you need to consult the children because they will be the next generation that will use this building. So why don't you spend some time talking to them what they would like to see in the building? So the staff and the architects and people sat with the kids and they started praying and they opened up the parables and they came across the parable of the banquet where Jesus says, go to the byways and the highways and call the poor and the lame and the crippled to come to the table and eat together. We will feast together. So these kids loved that. They were drawing these big long tables. Wow, we want a big table in the Life Centre. We want a place where everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter if you're black or if you're white or if you're rich or you're poor. All are welcome at God's table. And then one of the children drew half the table on the outside, which is that concrete table there on the left-hand side. And they said, why did you draw the table, half the table on the outside? And he said, it's because not everybody wants to come into a church. Not everybody feels comfortable. Maybe some people have been hurt by the church. It's a very deep theological thing from a little boy. But just an amazing vision. So a really special vision. So we have this big long table now in the centre where we have these meals and community meals and everybody comes together. We have homeless people coming in, sitting at the table with affluent people. And this we really see as the heart of the centre, an outreach opportunity to reach the community, to bring people in and share the love of Jesus with them. Next slide. And this is our new barista who will be heading up there. So her name's Priscilla. And Priscilla comes from a very broken background. She comes out of a background of addiction and homelessness, and her life transformed when one day she was taken by the police for dealing drugs, and she got put into the van and she was driving to the police house and she's got 5 kids and she saw her kids standing outside the van just weeping as she drove away, and she sat in that cell so ashamed, thinking, why am I a kid like my kids? I've left my kids behind. And then she gave her life to the Lord that day in that prison cell. So yes, it's just amazing to have her on board. I'm very excited about her. She's just gone through a 3-year process with a ministry called U-Turn, and now she loves Jesus. Her life's totally been transformed, and now we're her first employer, if you like, in the centre. But she's an evangelist at heart, which I love. So when people come in, she's playing worship music loudly to our ward counsellor the other day, who's not a Christian at all. So yeah, so she's just got a big heart for worship and to share the gospel as well. Next slide. And then this is another thing that we run in the centre. It's called Sarabana. So one of the things when I drive into the Life Centre, there's all these guys that line up on the side of the road, and the unemployment's very, very high in South Africa. You're talking about youth unemployment's up to 65%. So nearly 7 out of 10 young people are unemployed, which is horrific. So that's why gangsterism and crime is so high. So this is called Sarabana, and these guys line up on the side of the road. So the church thought and the centre, how do we reach these guys? So this is a Saturday morning breakfast that we do for them. And Sarabana means I'll see you, because what happens is everybody just drives past these guys every day. I mean, I will drive to the Life Centre, I'll get into the Life Centre at 7 a.m. and I'll see them on the side of the road waiting for work. And when I drive out at 5, they're still waiting and they're just standing there. So it's so demoralising, you know, to be standing, waiting, just get a job for a hope of the £10 for the day job and things like that. So this is a ministry that we have on a Saturday, and many have found work through it. And it's just a way to love, share Christ with them, and that. And last story is just my lovely wife. Put her up there. But she started a counselling centre. So one of the things we want to do is mental health is so high, like in the UK now, through COVID, mental health, depression, suicide, all of these things. So it's a centre we want to provide a counselling service to support that, because the pastoral team can't cope with that on its own, but also just from an expertise perspective, we need a qualified counsellor. So yeah, so Kirsty's really settled into her practice, dealing with some very, very heavy cases. So I appreciate prayers for her. She's dealing with a suicide case at the moment, and also her son and his dad, who got brutally stabbed in the township, and she's now doing trauma counselling with them. So yeah, but it's really good to have her in the centre and work together as well with this new vision where God's put us. So that's just a bit of an update from the Life Centre. Yeah, and thank you for all your prayers. Really appreciate this church and your support to us. We really do value it, and it means a lot to us. Thanks so much.